morning, everybody! My name is Game Champ, and my goal in life is to complete every video game that exists. Today, we're gonna take a look at one of the darker sides of Sonic's Fangame legacy, ChaoS! The game was created by Team ChaoS, which, as far as I can tell, mostly comprises one Davy Slam, and unfortunately, time has obscured the exact date of release. All I've really got to go by is the date on the files, which seems to imply it was made in the year 2000. Luckily, we don't need any fancy virtual machines to run this one, though we will need to download a mysterious CNCS32.dll file. I'd better get this warning out of the way. Playing Sonic fan games is dangerous business. You type anything with .dll into Google and 100% of the results are going to be viruses, spyware, ransomware, or Sonic fan games. No matter what you click on, you are screwed. But the archiving of this work of art is more important than my safety. So I took the plunge and downloaded Bonzi Buddy so I could finally play ChaoS! And no, it's not Sonic Chaos, that fan game came earlier. And no, it's not Sonic Chaos, that official game also came earlier. Just ChaoS with an emphasized S. It's like a combination of everything the Sonic community loves. The word chaos and the letter S. And this game isn't kidding around. The very first thing we see is the logo covered in blood, dripping down onto the press-shift command, backdropped to a burning sky as the haunting sounds of Resident Evil play. This isn't the Sonic you loved as a kid. Abandon all hope, for this is ChaoS! Let's go full screen and get right into, yeah, most of these games don't understand what full screen actually means, so you'll have to play on a ridiculously small window. Our story begins with, quote-unquote, the most evil creature to ever exist, ChaoS, escaping from his ancient prison and deciding he'd like to be rude today. And no, his name isn't ChaoS, it's just Chaos. His escape causes an earthquake, which, Jesus, Sonic! Blood and gore is one thing, but the word hell? There's nowhere to go. Sonic has reached DK rap levels of hardcore. It's also worth noting this dialogue is the start of gameplay. You can jump behind the dialogue bubble or, of course, run away from it immediately. Sonic is faster than the speed of sound after all. He can escape even the sound of his own voice. Gameplay-wise, this game is kind of a mishmash of Sonic mechanics that haven't quite been implemented correctly. The controls are, well, they don't quite give you as much control as you'd hope. And the physics are, well, not quite as physical as you'd hope. Sonic's constantly fidgeting around, trying to figure out where he should be relative to the ground. He gets really confused when he touches a wall, and he's got a bad habit of sticking to ceilings. I like to think this is an intentional design decision, though, since you can use it as either a super cool dive bomb, or even solid snake your way through corridors. To keep yourself safe from enemies, you're gonna want to use a super secret technique I discovered. Hold the jump button. Just never let go of it. Sonic will instantly jump whenever he lands on the ground, effectively making him invincible to direct contact with enemies. You might think it's cheap at first, but trust me, after getting all your rings disintegrated by flying enemies 10 times in a row, you'll end up auto-jumping without even realizing you're doing it. You really need those rings. At 100, you get an extra life. Sometimes. Just sometimes. After making his way to Hidden Palace Zone, Sonic comes face to face with Chaos. Hey, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and who the hell are you? Jesus, Sonic? I know he looks a little demonic, but that's really no way to talk to someone you just met. They have a bit of back and forth, emphasizing random words and forgetting apostrophes, and Sonic gets his butt kicked. Tails isn't too surprised when Sonic falls from the sky, and seems equally unconcerned about the blood-red sky. Sonic, being the baby we know him as, begs the almighty Tails to help him kill the God of Destruction, who Tails seems to think is quote-unquote, not cool. This level is basically just the first level with slightly different decorations, which is pretty much the design philosophy of every level. There's also a 1-up here, which I think is outright impossible to reach without using a glitched wall jump. Which seems to imply the wall jump is a mechanic entirely intended by the developer. After reaching Tails' house, we'll have to fight our first boss, who, quite frankly, can go suck an egg butt. It, and generally all bosses in the game, fly around the screen way faster than you can keep up, and abuse your lack of invulnerability frames to kill you pretty much instantly. Winning comes down to memorizing its patterns and staying far away. After a couple minutes of struggling, you'll whittle its health bar down and Sonic, come on! After whittling its health bar down and being careful not to get killed by its corpse, you'll be able to hop onto Tails' plane and move on to the next cutscene, where Sonic says hell for like the 8th time. Sonic and Tails decide that they have no idea what they're doing. And yes, that is actually what they say in-game. And meet Knuckles. Together, they form a plan. Split up. Grab all 6 Chaos Emeralds. No, Sonic, it's 7, you idiot! Grab all 7 Chaos Emeralds, turn Supersonic, and break through the energy shield to reach the floating island. Once again, I have to praise the developer for putting in a bit of cinematic flair. It's not well written, or particularly well executed, but this scene carries this spark in it, and I can't help but feel a little love. The music starts out dreadful, it starts to pick up with the sad AM theme. And then finally, when the trio has a plan set in stone, they strike a pose against the Sonic 1 title theme. There's this swell of emotion and adventurous feeling, and you just go, yeah! Then you get straight back to this crap and realize your emotions are filthy liars that only want to trick you into experiencing pain. After some more pinpoint precise platforming, you'll come to the second boss, who follows the same pattern as the first boss. Run around the screen and glitch you to death. The glitch of choice this time is immortality. If you hurt the boss as its invulnerability frames are running out, it will become immortal, forcing you to lose a life. Luckily, this is the only boss where this glitch tends to be an issue, and it's otherwise easy enough, and we can head to Chapter 4. It's just Mystic Cave Zone. Sorry, Underground fans, no fan game for you today. At this boss... I wasn't prepared for that. No worries, I have plenty of... Yeah, they didn't set the checkpoint flag correctly, so you have to beat the third boss on your first try, or you get sent all the way back. And of course it's a boss that automatically kills you if you haven't figured out how to keep safe, which takes a couple lives. There's a ledge on the right side of the arena which you're safe under, and once you figure that out, you can slowly take single hits on the boss until it's dead, and can safely move on to Chapter 5, beginning with the most necessary cutscene in the game.
So, I'm gonna go do that thing I said we were gonna do. Alright, I'm heading out now too. Okay.
Tails controls the same as Sonic, fidgets and all, but Davey went out of his way to properly animate Tails' tails flowing behind him whenever he jumps. Nice touch, good job there, Davey. The boss feels a bit better designed too. It's still terrible, of course, but it doesn't randomly whizzle-wazzle off the screen like the others, and also, as a result, you can kill it pretty easily. And move on to Casino Chaos! You couldn't help yourself, could you? This level is actually the best one in the entire game, for 2 reasons. It's the last level, and Davey apparently had to rush to hit the release deadline of this very serious fan game project, so he didn't put in any enemies. Just be careful not to fall. He also didn't put in any death triggers, soft locking you, and forcing a reset. Thank Davey for the password system. On finishing Casino Night... Tails gets captured by Chaos! Trapped in a cage, he screams for Sonic to come save him! What will happen to Tails? Will this evil being take over Mobius? And where did those badniks come from? The answer to all these questions is a shoulder shrug. Davey never got around to making Chaos Part 2, as far as I can tell, and apparently it was his dad's fault? So we're kinda just left in a rut. But hey, who knows? Maybe the sequel was under another name and is hiding in plain sight. We've still got a couple hundred fan games with the word chaos to go through after all. See you next time when we take a complete look at Sonic Chaos! A special thanks to my Patreon backers for making this video possible, including Eric Flynn, Lord Arenci, Leslam, Zany Bands, David 20 Covers, and Beatty JD. Arigato gozaimasu desu for watching, everybody, and get out of my house.